They've been around long enough to know that the folks like a short presentation. Okay, speaking about short presentations, of course, Tammy and Billy are off enjoying the 4th of July at home. And so if there are any people who have announcements this morning, I'd like them to come forward if they would at this point, because we're a little ahead of time. We're going to drag it out a little bit, like talking very, no, we're going to drag it out a little bit. And I see that Shirley's coming up, and she's always good for a couple of items. Shirley?
Oh, hello, folks. Supposed to drag. I'm sorry? Good morning, everybody. And happy thank you. I worked hard on these. Happy Independence Day to you. Remember last week, I had 3 things I wanted you to remember? I have 4. First off, I want to thank everybody who participated in the First Friday food collection last week. Considering how our numbers are dwindled, we did a very nice collection for the Parkway Food Bank, and they were really, really appreciative. The shelves were empty when we got there, and they just love us, I tell you. We'll do it again the first Friday in August, which I think is the 5th. Thank you. It will be the 5th. I will remind you before then. Tonight, potluck. I kind of figured Tom was going to be talking about the 4th of July more, but I'm going to just talk just a tad about the potluck because that's the one I'm involved in. Bring your food by about 5 o'clock. We'll have the table set up here as usual. There will be a 50-50, and some of the 50-50 money is going to go to the health ministry for their school supply drive to help the needy families in this area buy backpacks and notebooks and pens and stuff like that for their school-age kids. Because, man, you know how that stuff adds up. It used to add up back 40 years ago when we were providing our own kids. I have been asked by an anonymous person to remind everybody that children are not allowed to drive golf carts unless they have a valid driver's license. And some of those little girls I've seen are nowhere near driver's license age. And of course, none of you guys would do that, I know. For the potluck, please bring, if you can, bring your own serving utensils in case we can't get into the cupboards. I forgot my hat. Could I have that hat, please? Last week I told you that the first edition of the TWR Times Summer Contest had 1 week to go, and the first is now over. I am going to ask Tom to come and draw the winner's name out of the hat. 1, 2, and you'll know why. The second leg of this contest starts today.
And the winner is, a drum roll, please. Thank you. Cindy Gallenberger. Cindy Gallenberger. I don't know if Cindy here? No, she's in Wisconsin, where money isn't quite as expensive there. Closer to Canada, where there's definitely a discount. So we'll see that Cindy gets her prize, and the prize is?
The prize is a $20 gift card to Walgreens. And I know they have Walgreenses in Wisconsin, so we'll either hold it for her or mail it up to her. All right. I'm sorry? Oh. The drawing was for the $20 gift card. The contest. You guys aren't paying attention. Shame on you. The contest. The TWR Times, which publishes every day of the year, summer, winter, holidays, we had a little icon hidden. It was a little ice cream sundae icon hidden on one of the pages. You had to find it and email to me where you found it. This was our clever way of getting you to read the entire TWR Times. Now, this new icon, it's kind of yellow. You could either call it a sun or a starburst, but it's little and round, and it's hidden on a different page. Look for it, find it, and tell me where you found it, and then you win. Okay, lastly, you can give him back his hat. Thank you for the hat. Lastly, the Diversions Committee, who is sponsoring the 4th of July fun stuff today, is getting ready their big project. It's Reader's Theater. And I have this to read. Diversions, which has recently brought back the scavenger hunt and the golf cart poker, announces the creation of a subgroup called Broadway Lights to bring theatrical entertainment to Tanglewood all year round. This will be a little different from other theatrical productions, as our productions will take place with scripts in hand, so there'll be no memorization involved. Some productions will take place just around a table. There may be a little movement, but nothing to memorize. This is your chance to come back to the theater again if you've ever been, to try it out if you haven't, and basically just to have a heck of a lot of fun. There will be, besides no memorization, there will be significantly smaller time commitments for rehearsal, probably no more than 2 hours a day, twice a week. What? Okay. I missed another joke. The times and schedules will be arranged according to popular demand when we know who's signed up. No stage experience is required, just desire and curiosity to try. Broadway Lights is under the supervision of 2 Tanglewood residents with a great deal of theatrical production. There's a sign-up on the credenza, loose-leaf binder called Broadway Lights. That's so clever. Our first planned production will be in September, and the second one probably in January. Anyhow, this is going to be a kind of fun thing. We did it a couple of years ago, and I enjoyed it. It'll be free. Sign up, come, and enjoy the day. Tom's worked a lot harder on this than anybody else, and he deserves a good hand.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Miller for Trips and Travel. Our trips are all out on the table back there and in Tanglewood, Tibia of our times, whatever it is. Okay, thank you. Ha ha, fooled you. I got more. I'm not going to go over all the trips we have out because you can see that back there. You can see it on TWR Times. There's a fairly new one out, the Strawberry Fest, March 2nd. The book is out there already. We also, don't forget the Mystery Dinner Train, which is out there also. Coming up in the future, Biloxi, November 1 through 4, $270. Miccosukee Casino, Elaine's putting that trip together for $35 in December. We have a trip going to the Solomon's Castle. That's coming up January 5th, $35. We have a trip going to Tarpon Springs. We're just in the preliminary stages of planning that. It will probably be in February. And Key West is coming up in November of 2017. So we're working on those. We'll have those put together before too long. We also have the Serenade Serenade of the Siege is going out in January. We have about 8 seats left on the bus, so we can still get you on that if you want to go. Also want to announce that the Caribbean Princess, the new Panama Canal cruise coming up in 2018, January of 2018. Next week, we're going to have a 1-week sale for deposits of $100. Again, you can get your money back 75 days before the trip, and we pay the same interest rates as banks. Nothing. I don't know what else I have, so this time
All right,
I'm going to
changing
leave
hats.
for sure. Thank you.
Join the HOA. We need a strong HOA. It doesn't cost very much money, but this year we're on a safety drive. If you join, you get a free vest for 2017. If you join up, you get a free vest, and if both of you want one, an extra $10, you can get another vest. They're for walking so people can see you in the mornings and the evenings. So it's in your interest to get one. Not only are they nice and pretty, but they'll keep you from getting run over, maybe. And on that note, On that note, on the speed limits in here, we can't do anything to make people obey the speed limits, but if we respect each other and you respect your neighbors, you won't need to be told. Thank you.
I think what Jay meant was that you'll make a better target. Okay. Once again, the day. Oh, sorry. Tracy forgot something.
Thank you. That's why I forgot. The New York City final payments are due by next Monday, the 11th. If you're on the waiting list, get ready. Monday's coming up. Now, that really is all. Maybe not. Once upon a time, the monkey drunk blind. They all got together in the streetcar. Oh, okay.
You know, he actually asked if he could do that. Okay, let's go over the schedule for the day. First of all, I want to thank those who signed up for the golf cart parade, and those of you who are going to be in the golf cart parade even though you may have not signed up, because that's also very possible. Also the volunteers to help with the games, and we appreciate all that. The schedule for the day. Okay, we have coffee as usual, provided again by the Florida Mobile Homes, I should say, sales. And then at 9:30, and I emphasize 9:30 because we will probably be finished early, and it may be that you want to make a couple stops before we get started. But at 9:30, all the carts will be lined up here. As Bob Gransard, Bob and Peggy are going to lead it today. And as Bob mentioned, you can do it right after coffee. And we'll line up like we do at Christmas time. We'll have the one inside lane, then we'll have one in the middle, and one in the outside. We'll have 3 lanes, basically, of carts out front of the clubhouse. And after the first line clears, the second line will pick up behind them, and the third line behind them. We have a pretty good number of carts signed up, and as I said, that was just to give us an idea because we can use all the carts that we have. It'll be an abbreviated route, and so therefore, if you find that you aren't on the route by looking at the TWR Times or at the list in the back on the credenza, you can go down to the corner of your block, and I'm sure you'll see that it'll pass right by. So the golf cart will begin in front. Peggy and Bob will be the grand marshal, so to speak, and it will be an abbreviated route. There will be a prize for the best decorated cart, and we have a very select panel that tends to remain anonymous because you may know where they live. So we do have someone to select, or some ones to select, the winner of the parade. Now, after the parade, and not until 10:30, but at 10:30, we'll have the games here. And there will be prizes for the games based on a cumulative score. There'll be 8 games, and each of them has a possibility of a score of 3. And I'll give you a little idea what that is going to involve. But a score of 3, and it will add up the scores at the end of the day and see how many things people have had. The first contest that we're going to have is the return of the cherry pit spit. We're going to do that a little differently. Rather than figure out who has the longest distance, we're going to have a line drawn for both men and ladies. And you'll get 3 cherries, and you'll spit them toward the line, and every one that you get across the line, you'll get a point. So it'll be not a case of how many feet you go, but rather how many you can put over the line. We'll have the toilet seat toss. Okay? We have 3 padded toilet seats that don't weigh very much. They are brand new. I want to emphasize that. They're brand new. If you sat on them last year, you're the only one. And we also have a can of Hunt's tomatoes, which is what you're going to try to launch them onto. And once again, if you get all 3, you get 3 points. If you get 2, you get 2. If you get 1, you get 1. And if you get 0, you get 0. But again, we'll have 2 distances, one for men and one for ladies. And everything except the cherry pit spit takes place right here. So you don't have to go out in the heat or anything like that. That'll work out. Then we have putting. And we'll have 3 artificial holes that will be placed on the carpet back here. And once again, you'll get a couple of practice shots. And if you put one in on a practice shot, that becomes your first shot, okay? So if you accidentally hit one into the hole on the first practice shot, you're starting your 3 shots. If you can miss the first 2, you haven't started until your 3rd shot. And once again, if you find 3 successful putts, 3 points, and so forth down the line. The beanbag toss is kind of self-explanatory. We'll have half of the community's, what's the word I want here? Cornhole boards out here. And once again, you'll get probably 4 beanbags, 1 to practice and then 3 to go. But again, if you make it on the practice, then that starts you out. We'll have a return of the airplane glide. You may remember we had paper airplanes, and once again, we'll put a strict line out, and everyone you get over the line, you get a point. We'll have War the card game, you know, the old kids card game where you flip cards. We'll be doing that. We'll have a word game. Everybody will start with the word game back by the bingo area, and it's mixed up words and so forth that you've got to find. If you get them all right, you get 3 points. If you miss 1, you get 2. If you miss 3, you get 1. And if you don't get any, then we have your thanks, and that's about it. We have tennis ball bingo. Tennis ball bingo is a little takeoff on, remember the old game where you had a clothespin and a bottle, and you had to drop it in? 2 problems with that. They don't make glass bottles anymore. And second of all, they don't make clothespins like those anymore. So we have modified a little bit to use a board and tennis balls. And then, of course, we hope that the games are going to be over by about noon or before, probably before. And at 1:30, we have water volleyball. And we have our trophy already. It's a beautiful, inflatable beach ball. And it will be signed by the winning team, placed straight up here on a soup bowl for approximately 2 weeks so that people can admire it and see who was involved with the water volleyball game. Also in the afternoon, we'll set up the cornhole set, and anybody who wants to wander up here during the course of the day can do that. And there's no contest, there's no game or anything, but that's what we're going to do. The doors, as Shirley mentioned, at 5 o'clock, the doors will be open for bringing up your food for those of you who are participating in the potluck. And from what I saw on the list, there's quite a few, and that's great. And the potluck itself will start at 5:30, and I'm sure Shirley will have an entertaining night for you with that. Okay? We had something, Shirley. Oh, yes, thank you. I told Shirley, remind me if I forgot, and I did. You maybe remember last year we put out a big crossword puzzle that anybody could come up during the course of the day and help to complete, and it will be over here by the pool, by the window in the pool. Thank you, Shirley. By the pool and the window and the pool over there. And it will be there all day, and you can come up and help as you see fit. Okay, I'll go over all that again when we get to the games, but it'll be an interesting day. So 9:30 for the parade, not before because some people may come up just for the parade, and 10:30 for the games, and we'll start when everybody is ready to go at 10:30. Parade shouldn't take that long. Now, this day in history, you know, as I was looking at this the other day, it seems like everybody waited till the 4th of July to do something. They all got something going here, except for the guys who did the Declaration of Independence. What day was the Declaration of Independence actually presented to the Continental Congress? Right. July 2nd, that's correct. Thomas Jefferson had it all ready to go, but there were a few questions, and so they amended it, and then on July 4th, they finally signed it, and of course was begun by John Hancock, who at that time was the president of the Continental Congress. In 1817, they started the construction of the Erie Canal. Now, having lived in New York State, we were very familiar with the Erie Canal. As a matter of fact, I used to live about a mile from it. But 1848, they laid the cornerstone of the Washington Monument. And now we get into some other things. In 1937, Lou Gehrig retired and made the now famous speech that he made at his retirement. In 1960, the 50-star flag debuted in Philadelphia. And in 2009, they reopened the Statue of Liberty. You remember it was closed in 2001 for repairs, and they reopened it again on 2009 on this day. Born this day in 1826 was Stephen Foster. 1883, Rube Goldberg. Remember, he took a lot of raps for some of the things he came up with. 1918, Ann Landers. In 1927, Neil Simon. And in 1943, another patriot, Geraldo Rivera. This month is AC, or Air Conditioning Appreciation Month. You better believe it. It's National Grilling Month, and it's Tour de France Month. This week is Beans and Bacon days, I should say. And this one will be appreciated by some of you. It's also Be Nice to New Jersey Week. If you know somebody from New Jersey, be especially nice for them this week. It's Freedom Week, and it's Nude Recreation Week. I don't think that'd be a pretty sight. Today is Boombox Parade Day, but most importantly, it's Independence Day. And of course, we all appreciate the fact that we're able to live in a country like this and enjoy the week, a whole day, whatever it might be that we take to celebrate this particular time of year. And speaking of celebrations, Nancy, what do you got?
First of all, I have to tell you that they moved the table so that we were in the spotlight. And I wanted you to know this is the first time ever. Tom mentioned to me that the meeting was going to be really short, so I could talk as long as I wanted. But we won't abuse that. 7 years ago, our forefathers. So, don't forget the coffee mugs. And then Mary Lee has a song for you.
Oh, no?
Yes.
Hi. 76 new homes have been sold to date.
No. Not really. It's 50.
And the parade's ready to start, so don't be late. We're heading to the sun outside where we'll all be fried. Happy 4th of July.
That's it.
That welcome committee, right? Okay. Okay, so as we said, it's a very short day today as far as the coffee is concerned. Plan to take part in activities today. Make a new friend. Wave to your neighbors, and have a great week.